I'm a giant in New York, in Miami, carry heat. It's the Earnestly speaking podcast, creating Alien Logan, a dynasty.
Earnestly podcast here, recording this late Tuesday night, March 10th, 2025. It is once again the Student Game Report, first off-season report with the man Kyle effing Nash. Kyle, what's going on?
Dude, the new theme. First of all, I mean, this is how I know you've gone full Trumper. Your theme song can't even be hip-hop style anymore. A, B, yet again, another missed opportunity. We're doing this fresh off of Bam Adebayo going completely apeshit on the Wizards with his 83 points.
83 points, breaking Kobe's record.
Only for you to have exposed an opportunity again to miss.
Oh, no.
Go Heat, bitch, in your theme. What the fuck, Clyde? You wasted your time as a Cowboy fan trying to convince people you're a Giants in there. You mentioned you're in Miami. You mentioned, Trevor and Patrick, whatever your son's
Trevor and
name is.
Patrick, really? What did you hear Trevor and Patrick in that?
Sure, you're a Chiefs fan, right? All of that for you to find
That's
another
okay.
opportunity to not say go Heat, bitch. I can't fucking help you here. I'm sorry. See, I'm the
You
one
are
that
a-
even cursed first on your show. This is how bad it is. Let me take it
You are
from my
a mess, bro. You are a mess. And by the way, the wife hates it, for the record. And not only that, the wife,
She
I'm gonna
hates
close
the-
G.
Wait. She hates the theme song.
She hates it. She hates it.
But she realizes what manner of band of which you were once a member.
Yeah, she doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. In fact, we recorded a podcast I think 2 weeks ago,
Hold
and
on,
she goes, okay, here's the deal.
Hold on.
We'll do it.
Hold on.
Okay.
Wait. You recorded a podcast with her 2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah, and right, and she said, "Hey, honey, I'm okay recording with you. Just don't put that shitty fucking intro on our
It's
episode."
not
Dude,
bad. Now, granted, your wife, and I mean this as a positive, is in fact a honey badger. She does not care. But
she's brutal.
I mean,
That's why I like her. That's why I like her so much.
Her musical taste can be questioned. She thinks Cats is a great musical. So what do we?
Did she say that for real, Cats?
You're the one that told me that she said that. Yes.
Well, I have to review that again. It's been years since that take was made, and many years and many gray hair in the chin. Just saying, I don't know. Anyway, we are literally hours from the official start of NFL free agency.
Yes.
There's been a lot of activity already, man. A lot of activity.
I've talked a little bit about it on the Duval Dive. Make no mistake.
You have. You've been very busy, of course. Can we start with the top story right now? At least as we're recording this right now, the top story. So
Yeah.
Max Crosby traded to the Ravens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as of 2 hours ago, that trade has now been rescinded
Mm-hmm.
due to him reportedly failing a physical.
Yep.
The fuck?
So what little I know about this, and it's still developing. It's not necessarily that he failed a physical per se, right? The doctors, this is more like, and I'm going to liken this to and reference this a lot in our conversation here, EJ Christian. Think Drew Brees, right? When he was getting moved, ironically involving the Saints, when he was getting moved, it's ironic for me because that's where Travis Etienne went. We talk about it on the Duval Dive. That was so cheap. I'm so sorry. But
No worries.
with the shoulder thing, that was supposed to be career ending for Drew Brees. The Miami doctor saw the images, didn't like what he saw. That's essentially what happened here, right? The Ravens doctors saw the images, of Max Crosby and did not like what they saw. Right. And I don't know the particulars yet. Again, this is still a breaking story, so to speak. But if I'm spending 2 draft picks as a team that previously, and I think this is correct, previously hasn't given up a first round draft pick in a trade like this, I'm thinking twice, especially for a position that isn't necessarily, I want to say, essential to a championship. Now, one could argue that a pass rush is essential to a championship. Were you a Giants fan, you would point out that pass rush was essential in at least 2 Super Bowls, with the alleged GOAT losing.
I tend to agree with that.
In both of them. If anyone has happened to watch the past 2 Super Bowls, a pass rush can lead to a victory in a Super Bowl game, clearly, right? But yeah, I'll put it this way. For the Ravens' sake, I hope they called it right, and Max Crosby doesn't end up becoming the defensive end version of Drew Brees, landing somewhere else, going absolutely nuts. Like, I'm not saying the Niners should land him. That would be great. It's not going to happen. But like, let's say the Rams get a hold of him, or somebody like that gets a hold of him, and then they take it to the top, and he wins a Super Bowl there. The Ravens will finally find someone. Actually, you know what? It'll still be John Harbaugh's fault somehow with the Ravens organization. Well, at least I thought that was funny, but you've frozen because, this is you have relinquished the fact that you are inferior to me in sports knowledge. And I'm just filling the time now. So, but now, I don't know what else you do if you're the Ravens and you see something you don't like, especially at that price tag, right? You kind of have to back out of the trade. And let's be honest, if there is a front office, a set of staff that you'd be willing to question outside of the Cleveland Browns and New York Jets, of course, at this point, it would be the Las Vegas Raiders. There's no, I want to say, less competent on the surface than them. Now, granted, the irony I mentioned incompetent franchises is also Geno Smith, former Raiders quarterback, I add, going back to the Jets. Like it's that again, the hierarchy was Jets, then Browns, then Raiders. So if you're going to question the doctors of a particular franchise, it being the Jets, the Browns, and the Ravens in that order, because that's how dysfunctional these teams are, it makes sense when you put it to that particular. When you put it through that litmus test, you have no choice but to believe it in that way. Does that make at least loose sense to you?
Well, I missed half most of the stuff you said there. However, let me ask you a question.
Why you're so bad at your fucking job? All right. I hope everybody heard me stall for a good fucking 30 seconds to a minute. And make it seamless for you to jump the fuck back in, and you expose yourself like Janet Jackson in a halftime. This is why I get fucking pissed. All right, I have all this talent. You shit all over it, son of a bitch. What's up, man?
Can I apologize?
No, that was actually, I had a lot of fun delivering.
Off and running here, buddy.
That was great, dude.
That was awesome.
But yeah, I mean, you heard the part he said about if you're going to question a set of staff, the Raiders is among the ones that make sense.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question though. Do you think he's took it straight anyway?
Oh, of course. Of course.
The question is who which right.
I can't give you a good candidate right this instant off the top, but let's just put it this way. If the here's the part that's fascinating, actually. Max Crosby has said he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. That's the whole reason the Raiders are moving him, which is interesting because I feel like he's kind of been part of the of a rebuild for the past, half decade? I don't know. Yep. Whatever. The Chiefs aren't going to pick him up. That's not a thing that's happening.
I don't think
What's that?
Maybe they could afford him. Throw some draft picks away. But no, why not? Why do that?
I don't know that the Chiefs are capable of or are willing to mortgage years ahead like that, especially when Travis Michael Kelce, he's signed for another year. I don't know that he goes past that. I'm kind of surprised he's taking the field, man. I thought he would have retired for sure this past season, but what the hell do I know? It would be fascinating if that happened. I don't think it will. I'm pretty sure the Eagles won't land him. I'm pretty sure the Cowboys won't land him at this point, though the reduced price that this implies. I think the Cowboys might throw 1 first-round draft pick because you're not getting 2 for him anymore, especially if Ravens. Go ahead.
Do we know if there was a battle for him before he got traded to the Baltimore Ravens?
We do. The Cowboys were on the list. The Jaguars were allegedly on the list. But see, the difference with Jimmy Stone's, a.k.a. James Gladstone, is he's going to have a set price. And the Jags don't have 1 first-round pick this season, let alone 2, and I don't think he was willing to mortgage that much. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, he'll be traded definitely. He's definitely he changes depending where he goes. He changes conversations on championship teams. If teams that are in the conversation for a championship title, he goes there. They're a contender.
He makes a playoff team.
That player.
Yeah, he makes a playoff team a championship.
Absolutely.
Like, what if he ends up in Buffalo? Fuck.
Oh boy.
What if he?
And that's a need, right?
Here's a good one. What if he ends up with either Los Angeles teams, the Rams or the Chargers? I don't think the Rams have enough to acquire him, but maybe they do.
Maybe
it's
cap
not just the cap too. The only other team I know that says F them picks harder than Jimmy Stone's would be Sean McVay. So they probably can't afford to move like that and pick him up. But and again, at this point, I'm just spitballing teams because I haven't done the research to know who could actually afford this price tag at this point because this news is just breaking. But there's, to your point, if you're asking me to find teams that were there and were could be kind of pushed over the line, here are a few, right? Now, granted, Max Crosby doesn't stop them from losing to the Patriots. He can't heal, ironically, Justin Herbert's hand, but it would be a fascinating thing to observe. What else would be fascinating to observe is if you could actually show up to your own show and, actually perform instead of on more than one occasion having to log back in because your security van's internet is failing desperately. And I hope whoever listens to this afterward is at least entertained because I know you're missing all of it. So, yeah, Max Crosby, that happened. I'm sure you're probably inevitably going to ask me about some other free agent stuff. I did mention Geno Smith going back to his old team, which is kind of hilarious that you go from having your jaw broken and then the team being 1 game short of a playoff run with Fitzmagic only to go back and then you rejoin that team. But again, that speaks more to Raiders dysfunction than I think it does the Jets, although the Jets are dysfunctional as hell too. Another element out there. Oh, he's back. What's up, EJ Christian? I was stalling. Yeah,
no. Someone's on my Wi-Fi tonight, but I know someone on my Wi-Fi tonight. It's fucking insane.
Spectrum
insane
below. Next question.
Yeah, you have it worse than me, actually. As bad as mine is tonight. Another big trade this weekend. We saw Trent McDuffie trade to the Rams for what, four picks?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's just a matter of them knowing what they wanted, or knowing rather what they needed, in their opinion. They have a good defensive front. They feel like one lockdown corner would make the difference. And basically, they're gauging themselves to do battle with JSN, right? If you could shut down Jackson Smith and Jigba, you have a better chance of beating the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think that's a question. And if you doubt it, you would see who was the winner of the AFC Championship game, aka the actual Super Bowl, that didn't involve that waste of time team, the New England Patriots, of which EJ Christian is a fan, correct?
As I remind you, roll my emoji, there.
Hey,
what about the?
Time to hear that joke. Isn't that perfect?
Yeah, I'm getting frustrated now too because then I got my wife. I got my wife texting me right now complaining about I don't eat cooking enough. I got my Wi-Fi fucking pissing me off right now, and the usual bullshit now about me being a Chiefs fan, which I am, for the record.
Hey, you know what? First of all, that was funny. Good job. Second, I would even make it worse and eat your wife's food in front of you just to make you look bad. That's how big an asshole I am. Oh, come on. I wanted you to hear that joke. Why'd you freeze up? God damn it, EJ Christian. Actually, damn.
I heard the joke. I heard the joke.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I heard the joke, actually. I heard the joke. I heard the joke.
You thought it
actually.
was funny then. We didn't
She
hear
got
you
mad.
laugh.
She made jambalaya last night, but she made jambalaya without rice though. Without rice.
See. Well, no,
carb
but
free.
for your health situation, that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. DJ Moore to the Bills. Trade to the Bills. That's a need, actually. They need a receiver.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that was something that certainly, when you think about giving, Josh Allen a target, obviously that's fascinating. It opens things up for everybody else. It makes it easier to run. Anything that makes the Bills offense more varied, especially if, Josh Allen is going to force the ball down the field like he did against the Broncos defense. Managed to resist the urge to do that against the Jags defense and then failed to against the Broncos. That's the whole thing. We talked about that here on the Student of the Game Report here on the on the Earnestly Speaking podcast with the now hard rock intro that Lauren hates so much. Yeah. She doesn't listen to the show anyway. It's okay.
No, she does not. Sometimes that's just something. Yeah, she's good. No, I did DJ Moore move to Buffalo. I like the move for Buffalo. It's
sure.
Josh Allen, help me! I need help. I think if I'm Buffalo, go for broke here. Go after fucking Max Crosby if you can. Shit, might as well. I mean, I don't know if I can afford it, but do what you can to fucking make Josh. Take advantage of this window, bro. There's a world right now.
Not to at this point, honestly. You ask.
There's a world, right? There's a world right now where Josh Allen right now, his window.
It's a short distance to go from the window to the floor, right? Like that's a whole thing, right? Something, skeet, whatever. I really hope you heard that. I thought it was funny. And apparently you didn't, because you're still blinking out and I'm here awkwardly on your podcast sipping my whiskey trying to spend the fucking time here. Here we go.
Skeet.
Now that's an entrance.
I heard it. Trust me.
Also, that's what
she
said.
I heard it. So I'm
gonna
speed this up.
Did you have skeet on your bingo card for the Student of the Game Report?
Nope. I'm glad we did. I'm glad we did.
What can I say except you're welcome, motherfucker? I feel like I mixed up Dwayne Johnson and Deadpool there at the same time. Anyway.
Yeah. So we're going to speed a little bit here because the Wi-Fi's been a bitch right now and I don't know what to do. One of the biggest stories of the offseason, Tua out in Miami. They're gonna what they're gonna do is do the post June 1st transaction of rather than paying $9 million 1 year, split it in 2 years. So they'll pay what one half of that and another half. And of course they signed Malik Willis, which I predicted 2 months ago was gonna happen.
You did mention that, yeah, and it made sense too when you said it. I'll say this: Tua departing isn't the big news. It's him ending up in Atlanta, if I'm hearing right.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Fucking nuts to me. I don't see the fit. Like you're that down on Dixon rather.
Penix.
What am I? Yeah, Penix. Sorry, Dixon. No.
It's a jack of whiskey, bro.
Listen, you leave my Buffalo Trace alone, you son of a bitch. No, yeah, Penix. Is Penix that bad? I don't think so yet. Sure. If they're getting him at a discount, if the Dolphins are paying the bill anyway, sure, right? Think of this as the Steelers with Rusty, right? You're paying for it, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I
think it's an insurance policy move for them.
Well, yeah, so was Penix allegedly too, right? How soon we forget?
Well, Cousins will never be gone. If I'm not mistaken, he's already gone now.
Correct.
Penix's injury, he's probably going to miss a portion next year too. Also on top of that, so you do that. I was saying the two best fits for Tua was to either go to Indy, or the best one for me personally was Minnesota.
That's fascinating. I think you both need to lower your expectations. I think his best move is to back up Matt Stafford in Los Angeles with the Rams. Because if Stafford is in fact dying, air quotes, if he is in fact on his last legs. We're not sure he'll make it through the year. You know, having Tua there as an insurance policy to give him time to heal is a thought. But then again, the question becomes, will Tua last long enough for him to come back? So there's that.
That's true. Yeah. I'm with you. Mike Evans to the Niners. Never thought I'd see this.
I did not see it coming. Love it. Okay. Regardless of me wearing my 49ers cap here, this is a threat that Brock Purdy has not had yet. Now, granted, hopefully Evans can stay healthy, which I feel like we have to say a lot about Niners receivers nowadays. But yeah, that's a huge move. There's nothing more I can even add to that.
Yeah, I think it's a great move. Even in the short term, it keeps window open for another year or two to win a title. And I mean, right now, Brock Purdy is technically in his prime. You got to do what you can. You got to do to do what you can to help him win. Like
the main thing is you got to do what you can to keep friggin' McCaffrey from having 400 carries in a fucking season.
Yeah, that too. That especially. Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. That I didn't see coming either.
I didn't, but what I'm going to do now is be watching the draft like a hawk to see what it is they pull for. This takes them out of the running. They were going to get the Notre Dame kid, which, you know, I'm sure Big Jim is super happy that, you know, his Notre Dame guy isn't going to end up with the Chiefs. And it's a better chance for his Cowboys to potentially land him, I guess, maybe. I don't know. But I feel like that will change the Chiefs draft strategy, right? Think about when you're going back to Tyreek Hill and they moved him on, you know, and they went just full defense attacking. I think that's the year they got Karlaftis, some other, you know, defensive pieces. They augmented with Chris Jones, and it's what led to the Chiefs dynasty, such as we know it, right? So I'm not here calling Chiefs dynasty. I do believe Matt Nagy has returned to Kansas City, although, you know, that again, not claiming Chiefs dynasty here, but I think it's always interesting to see what Andy Reid and staff are up to in a particular season. And especially now that they're going to have a higher draft pick than they've had fucking lately since they missed the playoffs last year. By the way, credit to the Jacksonville Jaguars for their part in that and beating them on Monday Night Football, where we talked about that on the Duval Dive.
We did. You did.
Jesus. Now I see you twice. This is awkward.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. This has been fucking retarded. I don't know.
Maybe you've had your struggles, but your fans here at Earnestly Speaking have enjoyed me freestyling my entire ass off while you're out.
And I appreciate that, man. I apologize to one for this. My house is not in order for the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. I've been here 3 months.
Wait, your house? You're living in the security van now?
Yeah. We moved it, remember? And the thing is, too, what sucks is that up to today, the Wi-Fi here has been phenomenal. It's a rough day today, currently. I don't know. Let me ask you a question about the Chiefs, though.
Yeah.
Because we discussed this at the end of the year. Okay.
We did.
Mahomes gets hurt. Okay. So, timeline. Is this the Chiefs retooling or rebuilding? Because now Kelsey's back, too, on top of that. You know? James back on the 1-year deal.
I think the Chiefs believe they're still relevant. I'll put it that way. And let's be honest, I feel like their issue was the defense and the exterior offensive line. I know that they lacked weapons, and Patrick Mahomes II is being asked to do too much. Those are still factors, and there's still time to address those things. Let's be clear about that, right? I think the draft is going to be very interesting for the Kansas City Chiefs this season, as they're drafting higher than they have in a while. And there's still time for them to make plenty of moves over and above, augmenting whatever it is they're going to on defense, moving on McDuffie to get more assets and trade stuff to do business with in the draft. You can tell they're targeting a retool again. Did they not get 4 draft picks for Tyreek Hill? I think that's correct. So, yeah, them utilizing these other pieces to kind of bolster and beef up their team. There's a fine line between retooling, knowing you need more assets, acquiring draft picks to acquire the assets in question, and then at the other end of the extreme, where you have the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Los Angeles Rams, who are all F them picks, and when they see a guy, they throw the fucking house at him, right? Of course, citing
I'm back.
both Travis Hunter and McDuffie. Ironically, both guys that play corner, by the way, getting all those picks thrown at them. So, yeah.
I think the Chiefs are doing two things at the same time. I think they're retooling and rebuilding. I think they're trying to keep this team relevant while also. I think when you get rid of McDuffie, for example, and you get 4 picks back, that's a kind of a rebuild thing. Teams do take the best asset and you get back assets. Teams get to rebuild the team. But then
I appreciate you struggling. Yeah, I appreciate you struggling with the difference between retool and rebuild, because no team that has Patrick LaVon Mahomes II at quarterback is truly rebuilding. Okay, so there's that. But
I agree with you.
Yeah, but it's a retool, and again, a team with him and Andy Reid coaching is never rebuilding. Okay, let's just come right out the fucking gate with that. But I'll put it this way. Here's where I'll meet you in the middle. It might be the Chiefs' edition of a rebuild based on their recent success. But no, they're retooling, man. They got too many. They're doing too well at too many places for this to call this a fucking rebuild. There's no way.
No, right. And what this tells me is that Mahomes will be back sooner rather than later. Because if Mahomes is missing most of next year, remember, he got hurt week 16, week 17 last year. So
it was pretty
the
late.
assumption
You're right.
was, he might miss the entire season. So what we were saying on the shows leading up to that was that, so this is an opportunity for the Chiefs to rebuild for a year, to take a break.
You were thinking it was Jason Tatum for the Celtics. Yeah, it ain't Tatum, but it's close. And the thing I think that makes the Tatum analogy perfect is I was warning the world at large. We both were. You followed my lead with my superior NBA analysis skills that the Celtics were still going
to. Here we go. Fucking stupid.
Listen, seriously though, joking aside, we warned the public at large that the Celtics would still be a threat without Tatum. Look what the fuck is happening. And I think that same element is still
amazing this year.
Say again?
And Tatum's back now, and he's getting rust off.
And now the Celtics are just going to be that much more fucking dangerous in the postseason. We tried to tell you.
Exactly.
Right? Fucking.
That's right. We've run through some of these other transactions that stood out to me. Jalen Phillips to Carolina.
I don't think that's the one you're trying to announce. I think you're going for Devin Lloyd, Carolina.
I mean Devin Lloyd.
I mean Devin Lloyd to Carolina.
Okay. But I know Jalen Phillips was in Carolina too also.
That's cute, but Devin Lloyd's the actual news. Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, I know these things before you do because I do host the Duval Dive on the Believe Podcast Network.
This is why we're here to inform you.
I love you, buddy. I'm here for you. Too, listen.
What about Alec Pierce staying in Indy?
I think that's a big deal, especially since they moved on from Pittman. I'm somebody who acknowledges Pierce is a really good receiver, and I've always been a bit skeptical. And then as I start, just when I'm about to say something skeptical about him, I'm reminded that the best quarterback that might have thrown him the football may still be Joe Flacco.
That's insane, right? Think about
it's fucking awkward as shit, right? It's like Andre Johnson for the Texans, who's now getting Hall of Fame conversation, and the best quarterback that threw him a pass might be what? Sage Rosenfeld, fucking Brian Hoyer. Like, what are we doing here? So it's fascinating.
That's insane. Yeah. I think it's gonna move. Obviously, you got to figure out who the quarterback is. Obviously, Daniel Jones is gonna miss a little bit of time. I think the dude from Notre Dame is going to be the riding that out for a while until they figure out who's the quarterback.
Slow down. You're talking too fast.
No, who was the quarterback for Notre Dame that was 2 years ago? The backup. I forgot his name. Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard? Yeah, whatever. Whatever. They both suck.
That dude. God darn it.
And that's not a Notre Dame shot. They're just neither of them are good quarterbacks.
No, I feel you. I feel on that. How about your boy Tyler Linderbaum to Vegas?
My boy, he's my boy now. I mean, yeah, we all get along, right? Just like, never mind. I was going to say something wildly inappropriate that the Donald Trump and you would enjoy, but I didn't want to take it that far. Anyways, No, anything that bolsters the friggin' line for the Raiders is a start, right? Granted, you can't rebuild a line with one position, but having a guy that's going to protect whatever the hell you're doing at quarterback. Yeah, I know Mendoza, whatever. That's going to be adorable when that blows up too. I said what I said, EJ Christian. But having somebody else to protect Mendoza while also doing something to, get Ashton Ginty some semblance of push in the middle would be important. I mean, I mentioned push in the middle. That's something you're an expert at, right? Right, EJ Christian?
Yeah, fuck this computer. I'm done. I'm going mobile now.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
you keep a refrigerator and the security fan? Damn, look at you go, dog. Okay.
It's a man cave, buddy.
Did you drive the security van through the wall? Holy shit. Anyways.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm having issues with the Wi-Fi here.
There's a fucking modem. That's right.
Right. Travis Etienne.
Yes.
Who's gone?
Yeah. No, and listen, this one's a little personal for me because I got to talk to him. I was there. At the time it was still the 3-point conversion that I was representing with the Jaguars. Or in the Jaguars press box, and I was in the locker room, got to talk to him after his first 100-yard game, which unfortunately was after a loss. But yeah, the dude went to hunt for the bag and he got it. Good for him. Hopefully he finds life in NOLA. And here's what's interesting. The proof, EJ, that he fits that offense is Alvin Kamara is there. And looking in some places on Instagram with Saints following stuff, they're hinting that Kamara might retire. I'm like, holy shit. Granted, I don't think that's going to happen, but yeah.
They should have traded him a long time ago, in my opinion.
Ooh, Kamara? Potentially.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at that point, then what else do you have? I mean, Kamara's a good enough guy, too. I've interacted with him lightly at the Pro Bowl in the past when it was here in Orlando and still an actual football game instead of a skills challenge. But yeah, no, I think it's a move that fits. I likened it to the Jags moving on from Evan Ingram, right? It's a guy going to a place, ironically, both involving Sean Payton, am I right? Going to a place where he'd be a better fit. Evan Ingram is closer to a Jimmy Graham at tight end than he is a Brenton Strange for sure. And yeah, I think it's one of those marriages where both sides or divorces, whatever you want to put it, one of those trades where both sides can be winners.
Did the Jags have a backup plan for Etienne?
Yeah, his name is Bayshaw Tootin.
Okay.
Yeah, they drafted him in the 4th round last year as a similar type bag. He was one step away from breaking out huge ass runs when he was in the game. Certainly an asset. Obviously, the draft is a thing. They may be able to get a guy, that's a particular weapon. I know. I know. I forget the name of the guy that News 4 Jax, Jamal St. Cyr, and Travis D. Holmes both were drooling over in our pre-combined, way too early mock draft on the Duval Dive. But
I missed that bill so much.
Yeah, but yeah, I forget who it was off the top of my head, and I know that Travis is huge on Kalen Black of Indiana. So if Travis gets his wish, like the way the Rams broke his heart when they got the defensive end out of FSU,
right?
If it would be all forgiven if the Jags managed to land Kalen Black. Jared versus the defensive end in question. I was trying to set you up an alleged FSU fan, but you're one that also quotes The Rock all the time. So,
oh yeah, sure.
You aren't actually an FSU fan because you were.
Go Heat, bitch.
Finally, he said it. Jesus Christ.
I said twice, but okay.
You didn't have it in your theme though, you son of a bitch. 83 points.
Well,
man,
I gotta work on that. I want cup. You might have that copyrighted for all I know. If you're smart, anyway.
Anyways,
here's my.
It should be on a T-shirt. It doesn't matter if it's copyrighted. Do I have a T-shirt, bitch? That sounds like something The Rock would say.
Yeah, I agree. Here's my question, though.
Yeah.
Best fit for Kyler Murray.
best fit for Kyler Murray, right? So you're looking for somebody who's mobile enough to be mobile and make a difference while also being able to deliver the football, which Kyler Murray isn't necessarily, I'm going to put air quotes, bad at. But like, I'll put it this way. This is one of those, I really think that Pete Carroll should think about Kyler Murray.
Why Pete Carroll?
Because well, think about his previous successes. What was the last quarterback he had that was worth a damn? And no, Geno doesn't count. Russell Carrington Wilson, a mobile guy who can occasionally deliver the football well. You're going to act like that ain't there.
Well, Pete, wait, where's Pete Carroll now, though?
He's with the Raiders. Somebody else
who
who
got
needs
fired.
a quarterback.
No, they fired him, buddy.
No, that's true. He did get fired. That's right. And he should have, but I don't know. I'm listen, man. I'm pulling at straws. You find a place for fucking Kyler Murray.
Listen, you're holding it down right now because the fucking technical issues in the show has been fucked up today.
No, and listen, I know I'm joking a lot, but a fit for I don't think Kyler Murray is a complete waste, but he needs a particular style of offense. Like, and you can't just be like, oh, you should be Lamar Jackson's backup.
Here's where I'll meet you halfway, though.
What's that?
The new coach of the Raiders is the former Seahawks offensive coordinator. So technically, there's that connection.
Yeah, suck it. No, I mean, joking aside, yeah, and I mean that leads to it being a fit. The part that sucks about being the Raiders quarterback is you're guaranteed to be at least the third, if not the fourth worst quarterback in the division. Because for all the shit, by the way, you love how the narrative is, oh, nobody blames Justin Herbert when literally fucking everybody blames Justin Herbert. What the fuck are we doing right now? Anyway.
What are we doing here? Seriously. I think I mentioned earlier with Tua. Here's my thing. I think Kyler Murray should go to Minnesota.
That's not okay. So understand what's happening there if you do that. And they don't have Grant Udinski to bail them out anymore. Mm-hmm. He's with the Jags getting other head coaching offers as their fucking coordinator, right? So, and by the way, a slowly hidden thing. Owner Bud that J.J. McCarthy was not the right pick in the first place. Tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But think about the quarterbacks, right? J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold are nothing like Kyler Murray as a quarterback. I don't think that's a stretch for me to point out, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for other quarterbacks that are similar, I'm not saying, and the Titans won't get him because they're working on Cam Ward. I'm not dissing it, but I'm saying that's a fit. The Colts is an interesting thought. I'll leave it.
That's actually a good one too. Also, because you'll at least have the reins for at least a month or two.
Yeah,
so that makes sense. Yeah, I agree with that one. Another team looking at also you see the Vikings, the Colts, same teams. I think Kyler. I don't think first record. I don't think Kyler Murray is a bust. I think Kyler Murray is a guy that had a solid career in Arizona. That things just ran its course. That's all.
And I know people make the joke about the Xbox, but let's remember, like, the last two successful quarterbacks for Arizona were Kurt Warner and Jake the Snake Plummer. Okay. And who even remembers Jake Plummer as a goddamn Cardinal? He's more famous for being a Bronco at this point, I think. Right.
I think that the whole Xbox thing's a little overblown too. Also,
I do too.
I think it's a little overblown. What about Trey Hendrickson? Still unsigned.
Yeah.
On the older side, though, but
I'm not worried about him. Someone will pick him up, right?
Oh yeah, of course. I think the question is whether or not. Here's the question: does he value more money or winning a title? Because he's at the age range now where, like,
yeah, because in Cincinnati he'll get neither thing, which is why he's not there anymore.
Right.
No. And here's the thing, buddy. I honestly think this Max Crosby thing impacts him because the argument could be that his camp was waiting for Crosby to set the market and then work from there, right?
Right.
I would not be averse. You got to think, and again, I don't think the Bills have the cap for it, but again, a team like that's on the cusp, that's a pass rusher away, which, I mean, that's not the Pats. They're not going to waste money on that with all the offense they need help with. Releasing Diggs over and above, but I digress.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of spitballing for teams that really need defensive help. It's hard for me to rule out, like, let's say the Cowboys or somebody in the East, the Cowboys, the Giants. That you really think John Harbaugh would shy against Trey Hendrickson on his team? I don't.
No.
Maybe even the Red Tails, Commanders are a factor. I could kind of see the NFC East being a direction he goes for that.
I see him, like, to me, if he values championships, that has Eagles and Niners written all over it.
I don't know that either team has the cap for that. Now, knowing
That's
Howie
the question.
Roseman, they'll
Well, that's
find
the
a way.
question.
Knowing John Lynch, they may find a way, but it's I don't think the Niners are going to happen. Damn you, I'm going to go full Hawkeye. Don't give me hope, right? Like,
Right.
Fucking Travis D. Holmes, God bless my personal champion, but he's over here putting stuff out on Twitter insinuating that Walker Little should be traded from there to the Niners, which would free up cap for them to pick up Trent Williams. You're telling me I get to cover Trent Williams? Don't give me hope. Anyways.
How old is he now? 30? How old is he now? 38?
Yeah. And by the way, that's totally not going to fucking happen either. So, again, don't give me hope because it's not real.
Right. And else, I think everything here on the option side. I think this is, now, granted, it's been relatively interesting to see what's happened for the last couple of days, but my prognosis is that this is going to be one of the most uninteresting, and I dare say boring off seasons we're going to see in years.
That's fair. I think Max Crosby alone moving.
Right. I think
ridiculous.
Right. But I think the Mike Evans move, you have the Kenneth Walker Super MVP move. I think those things kind of shook up a little bit now.
Yeah. Draft, you mean it started out feeling like it was boring, and
but it's like, oh wait, that's a lot more active than I realized.
Yeah.
So,
and that's fair. That's fair. There was a lot more movement than you thought. And then you had a defensive player of the year candidate if he doesn't get injured going to the Panthers and Devin Lloyd.
Right.
A lot of movement. Here's the real surprise: how many defensive pieces are moving this year of high note is interesting.
I do think though the draft was uninteresting in comparison to other years. In comparison.
Well, and what makes you say that exactly?
I guess the name value. There's only like Mendoza is going to be #1 pick, but most people I talk to think Mendoza is going to be a bust.
Correct. And here's the thing. Cam, our guy, Cam Newton, said something that I think is absolutely true. This draft is, in fact, not going to be interesting. And a big reason for that is Arch Manning moving on to the next draft season.
Right.
That would have driven the ratings on it alone. And let's be honest, I don't see, like, nobody's excited for really any prospects to speak of. I know that, they got the kid out of Notre Dame there, they're running back. That's a big deal. I know our friends that Huddle Up will be excited to see that. I'm excited to see where he goes. Mendoza does not excite me. I don't know who the second pick is going to be necessarily, and I'm not all that worried about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's proof of anything, where meanwhile, last year, we were talking about, what would Travis Hunter do? And things like that. And I'm not even counting the trade, because going into the draft, nobody thought the Jags were going to do that fucking shit, right? No. So that does not count in the same conversation here, in my opinion, because nobody was forecasting it.
Right. And again, it's Mendoza. I'm rooting for the kid. He's just a very nice kid. And maybe he's better than we realize, but
maybe he's a Disney movie, right?
Yeah, he really is.
Which is weird. So I forget who made this point, and I wish I remembered, because they deserve credit. But you got a kid this nice, this wholesome. The one fucking place he should not be going to is a place that has had Bill Romanowski and all these other Mauler types in their lot in the form of the fucking Raiders. Okay? The Raiders are notorious. They are not fucking wholesome as a franchise. Like, we agree with that, right?
Right. Yeah. Are there any other off-season stories that are intriguing to you right now as we sit here in the middle of free agency? Like,
yeah,
questions?
But it's not about the NFL directly. It's me closely observing the effect of NIL on this current draft class.
Right.
The Arch Mannings and other cats in the past who would have come out early to make this draft more interesting are not, because they're getting their bag and keeping that cheddar at school. I'm not against it. I'm just saying the impacts have their shall we say reverberations into the NFL level. Very fascinating stuff.
But we can say, in terms of Arch Manning, for example, like we can say that he is back in school because he did not have a great year. Like if he goes in the draft right now, he's not a top 10 pick in the draft right now.
You could make that argument, but we both know it's the fucking money, bro.
You think so? Think the money will come back?
Oh, of course.
Well, yeah, because his money, he'll make more money in NIL than what his draft placement will be in this draft, obviously.
I don't know that that's true, and it's possible that's true. I'm not saying I don't know, as in this is one of those where I'm trying to subtly tell you you're a fucking idiot. I'm not doing.
No,
I'm not doing that here.
Show.
Yeah, correct. And it was probably last time's show, but
yeah, and everyone after that too. Apple.
No. But listen, joking aside, I don't know, not to push back. I don't know what his NIL is, so it may be more than he could command in a rookie NFL contract at this point. And the fact we can make that statement is what's new, whether you like it or not. I'm not here to entertain whether it's good or bad, but it's what's different about college football today.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah, I think, like I say, it was not exciting offseason, but I think this free agency period so far has been a lot more interesting than I give it credit for. So
yeah, I don't know that we hear this much about legal tampering as we have in the past.
Gino goes back to the Jets. You see that shit?
Yeah, I was actually making jokes about that while your Wi-Fi was sucking balls there.
I thought Kyler Murray would go to the Jets though, but I was wrong with that one.
Good for Kyler that he's not stuck there.
Yeah, good for him actually. I think Minnesota, Indianapolis, and maybe a sleeper team somewhere there. Maybe the Browns.
Here's where I'll meet you in the middle, so you don't start going, "Oh, I told you he'd be good to Minnesota." No, he just wasn't as bad as JJ McCarthy. Okay, McCarthy was never the fucking move in Minnesota.
Agreed.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Agreed.
Minnesota's an offense. When you have a receiver like that, you're going to have a quarterback that's going to be asked to do things that you weren't at Michigan. Period. Point blank. End of story. And we're seeing the result of him being unable to deliver. But Sam Darnold was still able to hit Jackson Smith and Jigba just the same way he was able to hit Justin Jefferson. But what do I know? I'm just a student of the game.
Right. Good point. Anyway, I think that's it here, right? You else want to touch on before we get out of here?
Go Heat, bitch.
Plug away, bitch.
No, you got no basketball for me? Seriously?
Well, Orlando might are red hot right now, currently.
Isn't that funny how Paolo Banchero went from being fucking notorious to awesome in just a short stretch of games? And listen, to be honest, if you were to ask me about the Magic, you want to know what my take is? What the fuck is this team? You go out here and beat the Mavs by a point on a dunk by Wendell fucking Carter Jr., which, by the way, Javon Carter, them picking him up, huge, absolutely huge. Shopping Tyus Jones, him coming out, being a more expensive. Oh gosh, I keep forgetting the name of this point guard too. Corey. Oh my God.
Joseph.
Corey Joseph. There we go.
Yeah.
Tyus Jones being a more expensive Corey Joseph was not working for the Magic, especially when Corey Joseph seemed to be doing better on defense than Tyus Jones. Jesus Christ. No disrespect to Tyus Jones. He's just not a fit here, apparently. Javon Carter. Bro. He'll hit threes, plays good enough defense, and he's brought back that point guard action that they were missing, allegedly, and the veteran presence. I'll not forget, because I was in the building. I think it was the second week with the team, Carter. I was in the building where they blew the lead to the Rockets. And after the game, he said, he was asked by the great Philip Rossman Reich, Locked On Magic. You're a pod guy. I'm sure you listen to him by now. If you haven't, fuck you, go listen to him.
Damn, that's mean.
No, it's not mean to you. It's an endorsement of Philip Rossman Reich, because he's a goddamn legend, dude. But Carter, after he was asked, what is it that happens, to give up a lead like you did? And Carter said something interesting is, I think we get too worried about ourselves. in that we're worried about whether or not we have a good game or a bad game at that point, rather than just following the game plan. Right. Then they turn around and blow. I think the next game was the Suns, ironically. And again, you hear the stuff about we didn't make the proper halftime adjustments. We didn't stick to the game plan. That story maintains. Suddenly, they come out here and beat the fucking Timberwolves on the road? What the shit? So, yeah, if you want me to tell you what I think of this team, I don't know. Damn it, EJ Christian, I don't know. By the way, beating said T-Wolves without Franz fucking Wagner. Bro, that would make him FF Wagner, in case you were.
What is clear, the battle for 6 now is 2 teams now. It's Orlando and Miami, because Philadelphia's out. Philadelphia, Embiid can't stay healthy. Paul George's out till April, and now Tyrese Maxey's out 3 weeks.
See, here's the thing, buddy. What you said right there, you could have plugged in our preseason take of the East, and the same thing was true of Philly. Nobody believes in Philly. And
It's all about timing.
Yeah, man, like at this point, Joel Embiid, as much as I love watching him play when he's healthy, let's not get this twisted.
He's cooked.
Bro, there's too much of a semblance of Andrew Bynum at this fucking point, right?
Yeah.
Take that, NBA analyst.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
No, listen, but yeah, I don't think any. You know who I am surprised? I'm not surprised by them, but they're doing good and better than I thought. Even is the Knicks. Them being in the mix the way that they are, I knew they would be good. I didn't expect this, and good for them. You know.
Well, I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's finals and
I feel
busts.
like it's a little more than that. Just a bit.
No,
just
I don't feel
slight over.
I don't know. I think there's more.
And it could just be a difference in my expectation versus yours. Maybe I just had a lower expectation of them than you.
No, I had a higher. Finals and busts there this year for me. It was that simple for me. Finals and busts.
Well,
Miami's red hot. They won 6 in a row.
Miami's
hot now too also. So that was 6 down the East. I will say the East this year, you look 1 through 10, Charlotte has had a great stretch. They're down the mix.
Log jam in the East, bro. Like, yeah.
It's been really, really competitive in the East this year. I know.
Toronto's kind of a surprise. You have to admit.
Toronto, how good they are, yes, absolutely. But now Tatum is back for Boston. I think Joe Mazzulla might be coach of the year because what he's done with that team this year without Tatum and to be this good is amazing.
So you're putting me in the awkward position of criticizing. No, I'm not criticizing Mazzulla. I'm disagreeing with you, and people might take it as me criticizing Mazzulla.
Okay, go ahead. Why?
But I have a good pour with Mazzulla in post game. Okay, I have video evidence of the same, and I will send it to you if you really want it. But the punchline is, it's hard for me. Like people, you know what the issue is? Here's what it is. Mazzulla may deserve the props, but if you're going to give him the props, you did so exposing how you underappreciated him if you're one of those that thought the Celtics seasons were over just because they lost Tatum.
Yeah.
Okay? You were the idiot then if you thought that, because neither of us did.
Well, I thought they'd be
Eric Spoelstra, but he's really fucking good too.
I thought his ceiling with the Celtics this year would have been maybe a 5 or 6 seed. I didn't see 2 coming.
See, that was a mistake. Maybe I didn't see 2, but 5 or 6, that's way too low, guy.
But then number 2,
and I'll say this: we were making those predictions before they moved Porzingis and certain other things like that happened. Yeah. But by the same token, they still had Jaylen Brown. Everybody seems to forget Jaylen Brown exists, bro. Like, what the fuck? You know?
No, and Jaylen Brown is in the MVP conversation too. Also, on top of that,
it's about time y'all motherfuckers recognize. Man, listen. You remember when old Mother Hibbert, aka Roy Hibbert, like,
oh god,
said to the press, y'all motherfuckers don't blah 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 blah. I'm gonna say it for Jaylen Brown on his behalf. Y'all motherfuckers, not you, EJ, but y'all motherfuckers didn't recognize before, right? Yes. All the conversation we had. Well, gosh, Tatum is so good, and he's riding Jaylen Brown's riding Tatum's coattails. Blah 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 blah. Okay, are we fucking done now? Just like, you know, and I'll grant you, if you were to ask me to mention a big that I should be impressed by with the Celtics, it's not that I don't know. It's just that I don't remember because it's so long since I've watched Celtics basketball. I've just been that busy, with getting picked up by another national podcast chain and Locked On UCF. Shout to Mike Giddens for bringing me aboard.
Good job, buddy.
But I just hadn't had a chance to promote it on your show yet.
There you go.
But
you did.
right, but the Celtics. Rumors of their demise were long and way overhyped, and now Tatum's back to let you know he could really shake it down. Anyways,
He sure can. He sure can. Anyway, plug away.
EJ Christian, it's always an honor, joy, and privilege. No matter how good or bad your internet is, you're going to listen back to this, and I truly hope you laugh pretty hard. Yes, thank you. Clap, son of a bitch. Still don't have a Go Heat bitch sound wave though. Anyway,
I'm working on that now. I'm gonna update the soundboard later tonight.
See, this is why I talk so much shit. You get inspired when I do. I'm Colin S. You're talking about Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my work with the Duval Dive podcast on the Believe Podcast Network with my personal champion, Travis D. Holmes. We have a stream Wednesday night. If you haven't been listening to this live, and if you're not, make sure you check it out on the various pod places wherever you do your podcasting. Also, Locked On UCF. You'll check me out there. I've just gotten started doing once a week on the pods or more as needed. And hey, UCF basketball relevant at this point in the college season. They're in a position where they didn't finish as strong as they'd like in the regular season, but depending on what they do in the Big 12 conference tournament, they may go dancing. They may go dancing anyway. You never know. Listen, EJ Christian, being 500 in the Big 12 is pretty damn good for anybody. So make sure you check out that work with both Locked On UCF and UCFNightZone.com. And of course, my work covering the Orlando Magic, where I continue to outshine EJ Christian as an NBA analyst. So, an honor, joy, and privilege. Miss seeing you there, Big Sexy. But until next time, everyone, class dismiss.